Elmer McCurdy, a man of the Wild West, met a bullet-riddled end in October 1911. This outlaw, born on the first day of 1880, became notorious for his life of crime, robbing trains and banks with a wild abandon. But every outlaw meets his end, and for McCurdy, it was a hail of bullets in a shootout with the police that sealed his fate. His exploits in life, however, paled in comparison to the bizarre journey he would embark on in death. After his demise, his body lay unclaimed, a mere shell of the man he once was. A funeral home, seizing the opportunity presented by the macabre curiosity of the public, preserved his body with an arsenic-based solution. And so, McCurdy became a ghoulish attraction, his body viewed by those intrigued by the grim spectacle. But death was not the end for Elmer McCurdy. McCurdy's body, unclaimed, became a ghoulish attraction in a funeral home. Life had been a wild ride for Elmer, but death proved to be an even stranger journey. The funeral home, unable to locate any of McCurdy's kin, decided to take an unusual step. They embalmed the body using an arsenic-based solution, preserving it against the ravages of time. Then, they dressed McCurdy in his street clothes, placed a rifle in his hands, and stood him up in a corner of the mortuary. The story of the embalmed outlaw drew crowds, and the funeral home started charging visitors a nickel to see the bandit who wouldn't give up. Each unsuspecting visitor would drop their coin into the outlaw's open mouth, peering into the lifeless eyes of a man who had once lived on the edge. Visitors paid to see the embalmed outlaw, not knowing the extent of the journey McCurdy was yet to embark upon. In 1916, his story took a bizarre turn. Two men, claiming to be Elmer McCurdy's long-lost brothers, came forward to claim his body, but instead of a solemn burial, they had a much darker use in mind. The body of McCurdy, the outlaw who had once thrived in the chaos of the Wild West, was about to set off on a ghoulish odyssey, the likes of which few could imagine. In the hands of these two impostors, McCurdy's body became a sideshow attraction. Dubbed the Oklahoma Mummy Man, McCurdy began a strange journey, his embalmed body displayed in carnivals across the United States. The outlaw who had once been infamous for his life of crime was now a spectacle in death, paraded before the eyes of the curious and the morbidly fascinated. But the spectacle was just beginning. From town to town, McCurdy's corpse traveled, a gruesome testament to human curiosity and our fascination with the macabre. Displayed as the outlaw who would never be captured alive, McCurdy's body was a chilling attraction, drawing crowds who watched in a mix of horror and fascination. But the carnival's creepy lights and hushed whispers were just the beginning of McCurdy's posthumous journey. As the years passed, his body was sold to a wax museum, then used to promote a low-budget film, and even served as a prop in a horror movie. Each new chapter in McCurdy's after-death story further obscured his true identity, transforming him from man to myth. Yet through it all, the body of Elmer McCurdy remained, silent, unyielding, a macabre monument to a life that had once been filled with danger and lawlessness, now reduced to a strange spectacle. A journey through death that was more bizarre and far-reaching than his exploits in life. But the spectacle was just beginning. Sold to a wax museum in 1922, McCurdy found a new home among figures of famous criminals. The Wax Museum, a house of horrors and historical figures, became his new residence. The once notorious outlaw was now just another exhibit, his true identity lost amidst a sea of waxen faces. His embalmed body, a chilling spectacle, stood frozen in time, his once lively eyes replaced with lifeless glass. The visitors, oblivious to the true identity of this man, admired the craftsmanship, the eeriness, the authenticity. McCurdy's body, once a symbol of rebellion and lawlessness, was now an object of fascination, a testament to the macabre fascination of humanity. But the Wax Museum was not his final stop. The journey of Elmer McCurdy, the man who lived beyond his death, took many unexpected turns, each more bizarre than the last, his true identity obscured by the patina of time and spectacle. The depths of despair in 1933, as McCurdy's body was repurposed to promote a low-budget film called Narcotic. In a macabre display of opportunism, the once notorious outlaw was posed as a deceased drug addict to add a chilling layer of authenticity. With no lines to deliver, no stunts to perform, McCurdy's silent presence was the epitome of a life lived on the edge, now serving as a prop in the world of cinema. Years passed, and the Oklahoma Mummy Man was once again forgotten. Left to gather dust in a storage unit, McCurdy's body was a relic of a bygone era, a grim memento of his life and death. Yet his posthumous journey was far from over. In 1967, producers of the horror film She-Freak brought McCurdy back into the limelight, albeit in a grotesque fashion. Cast as a horrific prop, the embalmed body of McCurdy played a role in a film that echoed his own bizarre post-death journey. But as the credits rolled and the lights dimmed, McCurdy once again returned to the shadows. His body, once a spectacle, was retired to the obscurity of storage, a forgotten prop. Yet even in this quiet oblivion, McCurdy's story continued to unfold. Not a character in a film, not a spectacle at a carnival, but a real man whose life and death had been exploited for over half a century. His body continued its posthumous journey through pop culture and into obscurity, a silent testament to the morbid fascination of the public with the macabre and the bizarre. McCurdy's story is not just a tale of an outlaw, but a commentary on our society, our fascination with the grotesque, and the thin line between history and horror, a line that McCurdy, in life and in death, crossed over and over again. Eventually sold to an amusement park and displayed as a hanged man, McCurdy's body was covered in neon paint, a grotesque spectacle in the name of entertainment. His final act in the limelight was as unsettling as it was bizarre. Suspended in time and far removed from his Wild West origins, the Oklahoma Mummy Man became a haunting fixture amidst the laughter and thrill of amusement park rides. But McCurdy's macabre journey wasn't over. His time in the amusement park was marked by an eerie sense of normalcy as patrons passed by, oblivious to the true nature of the prop hanging before them. Yet this facade of normalcy was about to be shattered. In 1976, during the setup for an episode of The $6 Million Man, the unthinkable happened. As a crew member attempted to adjust the prop, McCurdy's arm broke off, revealing not stuffing or wires, but bone and decaying tissue. The amusement park's lurid attraction was not a prop, but the real body of Elmer McCurdy. The discovery sent shockwaves through the amusement park and beyond. The authorities were called, the park was closed, and an investigation was launched. Autopsies confirmed the body was indeed McCurdy's, preserved through the years by the arsenic embalming. This shocking revelation ended McCurdy's posthumous wandering, over 60 years after his death. It was a journey that had taken him from the Wild West to the heart of American pop culture. From a funeral home spectacle to a carnival attraction, a wax museum exhibit, a low-budget film prop, and finally, a macabre decoration in an amusement park. On April 22, 1977, Elmer McCurdy was finally laid to rest. The long, strange journey of the Oklahoma Mummy Man came to a halt in the peaceful, quiet grounds of the Summit View Cemetery in Guthrie, Oklahoma. After 66 years of being a grotesque spectacle, a wax figure, a movie prop, and a carnival attraction, McCurdy was given the dignity in death that he had been denied for so long. Encased in cement to prevent any further misuse of his remains, McCurdy's grave is now marked by a simple stone. It bears his name, his birth and death years, and a brief epitaph that reads, "Shot by Sheriff's Posse in Osage Hills on October 7, 1911, buried April 22, 1977. A stark testament to the man's life and the bizarre odyssey that followed his death. His story, a grim reminder of our fascination with death and spectacle.